Friend cheats then get angry when they find out GF cheated. So I don't normally post life issue, but after telling my story to a co-worker they said I should post it. We will start with a little setup as these events started roughly 2 years ago and stretched till about a week ago. Cast, not real names. Ages are rough for the time it started. Me up, 29 meters, my partner slash fiancé Stella 35F, best friend slash Brad 30 meters, Brad's GF slash Laura, 29F. So our story begins. Me and Stella were living together, had been in a relationship for nearly 10 years, and had a young child together. We had gotten engaged but were taking things slow as we had been together for many years and had normal relationship issue along with struggles due to changing as people over the years and not meshing like we once did. We had talked things over and decided to step back for a week or two and think about what we wanted out of our relationship and out of life. Even if that meant opening up the relationship, but I requested if we did that we have a few rules in place since it would be a big change in our normal life. Such as not bringing new people around until they have been vetted due to us have a child together and not hooking up with anyone in the friend circle so it doesn't create weird dynamics. Now during this time I had a friend Brad who was my best friend since my 9th grade year and we were brothers and did everything together. He was dating a girl, Laura, the two of yous had known in high school and whom he had dated at that time until she cheated on him. Well, over the years they got back in contact and started dating again. In the in-between years, Laura had married a guy in the military and had a kid, until she one day trying to make friends slept around on base while her husband was on tour. Jumping back to the present, Brad is currently in the National Guard and having to do a year overseas, so we try to keep in touch as much as possible. Well, one day I can't find my phone so I pick up my partner's to call mine. Neither of us have phone locks and we use each other's phones from time to time. Well, when I pick up the phone to call, I light up the screen and see her messages to Brad are left up, and before I close the messages the first message I see is of an illicit nature, so I read a small part of the exchange and placing her phone back down. Later that night after putting our child to bed I sat down at the table and asked her to come over. I was straightforward and asked how long she had been sexting Brad, which led into an argument that hit all the normal bullet points, and she stated I have no right to know anything because we aren't together. During this time I was under the understanding that we were still exclusive, just stepping back while we were working things out, but she expressed the opinion we were broken up until we sat down to have that conversation. So I acquiesced and held the convo from her position, and reminded her that even if we were broken up Brad and Laura weren't, so it's still cheating, and she needed to tell him to let Laura know before a week is up or I would. Stella stated she couldn't believe I would blackmail Brad, which threw me for a moment, in which I said I was in no way doing. I was holding him responsible, and after the argument concluded I went for a drive. Well, a few days later I am told that Brad had spoken to Laura, and just to make sure I messaged her, trying to be respectful. I simply asked if Brad had gotten a hold of her cause he was supposed to tell her something, in which she said yes, so I left it. A few days later I see Stella crying in the kitchen, not wanting to be an asshole. I ask her what's going on, in which she tells me Brad didn't actually tell Laura and had spoke to her about something different. So at this point I'm furious. I tell her he better find the closest phone over there and call her, he has 24 hours. So he finally gets a hold of her and tells her what happened. They talk it out and get over it together, and causes Stella to break down cause she felt used, and in doing so caused us to be permanently done. Along with showing me I was correct for asking for those rules about having an open relationship, as this caused a rift in our friend group which caused us to have not too many people we could talk to vent, and ruined a long-term friendship and a D&D campaign I had been running for 8 years. And now having to pick up the pieces of our lives and where to go from there.